What's up, everybody? I'm Chef. I have 35 years in the industry. This is Oleg. You have how many?
25.
Nice. That's Mike Spade. You have absolutely zero, but he's going to throw in some unwelcome comments every time he feels necessary. So, what's up, guys? Welcome to the third episode of the Mies and Podcast. Thank you to all the subscribers. Just so everybody knows, when we get to 1,000 subscribers, the thousand, right? Is that how you say? 1,000 subscriber will get a gift from us, and it's going to be something along the lines of a custom chef knife engraved, says Mies and Podcast. Don't cut your fucking fingers. Something along that lines. But yeah, so that's that. So what's up, guys? How's it going?
Good.
We picked up another sponsor this week.
Oh, nice. Who is it?
One more sponsor. This week's sponsor is Tony's Watch Repair and Sandwiches. And his motto is, if you don't have the time to get your watch fixed, still hang out. We'll make you a sandwich. So thank you to Tony and his watch repair sandwich shop. And yeah, man. Pretty cool, right? 3 episodes, 2 sponsors.
That's it. Yeah.
You know,
Moving on up.
we're getting to the big time so far. I'm still amazed that people actually are listening.
I just want to know, is all these sponsors, are they sending third-party out-of-state checks or?
Yeah, it comes through like an offshore account.
Got it.
Something
Okay.
like that. You know,
Sure.
Usually the same. So, yeah, third episode. Again, this is unscripted. It's just Oleg and myself and Mike Spade just talking about things, some topics that we see on social media. It's just, what's going on not so much what's going on in the restaurant industry, but just shit we've been through. And, we call it stories from the dish pit, just meaning that, we both started from the bottom and you get to see a lot from that position. And these are some of the things we got to share with questions and everything. So, Oleg, real quick, most dangerous piece of equipment in the kitchen. I know what mine is.
Yourself.
Well, besides that.
Salamander.
Yeah, salamander gets you. That's usually when we get all the burns up on top of your hand and everything. I'm covered up now.
Other than that, a mandolin.
Fucking mandolin.
Especially like a nice shiny French mandolin. I've seen so many fingertips get lost.
I've lost fingertips. I saw one guy Juliana finger.
Nice.
I think that's like so I get confused. I'm not the greatest with the memory. So is it the Japanese is just the one? It's an awkward gesture, but it's the one like this. The French one is the one with the goufret and all that stuff on it, right?
So the French one is the metal one that adjusts to different levels, and you can. But the Japanese one is the regular plastic one. Usually comes in green or.
It's got the safety.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
That gets thrown out the first.
As soon as you get it, before you take it out of the
Yeah.
box. I think, it's probably still there, but I think I almost did that to the one in fucking home as soon as it came. Like, we don't need this. Oh, mandolins. I'm petrified still to this day of those fucking things.
And that's why you use a knife.
Well, you always get, still the same thing with the knife, man. If you ain't careful, the shit will bite you.
Right.
But
It's so much easier to use a knife than it is a mandolin.
But still, the mandolin, you're just flying through, and it's just like, and you don't feel it.
Mm-hmm.
But you know it because your gut feels it, so you're like, the first thing I would do is you grab a rag or whatever, a bar towel or whatever you got, and you just hold it like this, and you're like,
What else are you supposed to do?
and then it never bleeds right away. And that's the worst part. So when it's done, especially if it's the fingertip, any chefs out there or anybody in the restaurant industry, even doing prep, when you're using a mandolin, you've taken both index fingers, you've taken this part off of both of them. And if you get the nail, queasy, just
I lost the corner of this thumb to a deli slicer. That was the worst one. The guy I was working for, he insisted that I wear gloves while using the deli slicer. And it's actually against code to wear gloves because gloves could get caught in the moving mechanism.
Well, it's also what, like, so we're talking back in the day. So those were just like what we call the shark clubs. They were just like mesh.
He just had me wear regular. It was just regular.
Holy shit! Wait, I thought you were talking about like a cut glove.
No, it wasn't a cut glove.
No, just like put a latex glove on.
Put a latex glove.
Because
Yeah, exactly.
The meats will be clean, but you might take off part of
So
your finger.
the piece of the rubber glove got caught in the between the blade itself and pulled my thumb in and cut the corner of the thumb off. And at first, like you just said, didn't bleed. You look at it and it's clown white. So the first thing I did, put a rag over it, ran over. Showed my chef at the time. He's like, I don't know what to do. Okay,
Clean it. Yo, fuck you. Put that shit on the running water.
So what I ended up doing, I ran across the street to the bodega. I bought 2 tubes of crazy glue. I cut them both and I dumped it over my thumb until it crusted over. I went to the bar across the street, ordered me a double shot of whiskey, told them exactly what happened, showed them my thumb. They're like, you don't have to. Yeah, you're dead. And then I went back to work, and my boss was like, what is wrong with you? You just lost a piece of thumb. You're trying to get back to work. You got 2 options. Either go home or go to the hospital. I'm like, going home. I'm not going to the hospital. I'm already good. And then I got on my motorcycle, and I rode home for the next hour with my thumb encrusted in crazy glue. And that, right?
It's like the total story, you know? And that's it. At the end of it, I got on my bike and I rode home with my thumb in the wind. Sorry, I got out of it. Yeah, fucking mandolins. And it's still the worst feeling. And running a cut under cold water and then having to finish a shift because then you're stuck between it's a catch-22.
You're lucky like him, you got sent.
Well, you can't. I mean, sent home. Oh man, I never got sent home. But still, it's either don't finish the shift, and then the next day, everybody that you work in on the line is going to have that judgment on you, or finish the shift and be the fucking, martyr. I've sat there and sauteed like this after cutting a finger or so forth,
Luckily, that wasn't a line cook job. That was a small catering operation. Actually, the place that I mentioned last episode, the weirdest place when I
gluten free. The place you should have quit before.
Yeah, basically started. That spot is where I got hurt and lost half my thumb. Good times.
How are you done now?
Still there.
Oh, look at it, still there.
The thumb thing.
Perfectly fine. Yeah.
It does things. It's great for hitchhiking. So real quick, anybody watch the Emmys last night? Because I got to shout out Matty Matheson, man. So it's cool. So his they got for the Bear. Did you see the Bear?
Yeah, I seen the Bear. I heard that a couple of the people on it got awards. The chick got an award for the best supporting female actress, and I think the guy
she was a sushi.
The sous chef, and then the guy that was always saying cousin.
Yeah.
He ended up winning best supporting male, I think, but I haven't heard about anything.
So what'd you think about it? Because we see it as topics all the time. The Bear. I thought it was one of the most logical and real to the restaurant industry or to a kitchen like that as it can be. For the most part, some things are exaggerated, but of course that's it, and in the kitchen.
The stress and the chaos is exaggerated just so that it looks better on TV.
It does, it looks better on camera.
A lot of people give it flack, but honestly, if you've been to places that are more than just like a regular line cook or a short order cook restaurant, and you've been to places that run a kitchen like a traditional chef like brigade, then you've been there. You've experienced it. Like I came up under a French chef, so I've experienced it firsthand. Like that same mentality and the way he spread everything out.
One of the things I liked about the Bear was that it was something we touched on maybe an episode or 2 episodes. Like we have so many episodes. I'm like I can't remember which one it was, but it was either episode 1 or 2. When we spoke about, the guy just coming into a new kitchen, whatever it is, no matter if you have experience or you knew what you're coming into, but just how it was, and just the cold shoulders that you get, and, where's my knife, and just all those, that actually does happen, man. And it's really like that, and that's like I said, you can't walk into a kitchen, no matter how many years experience you have, with especially people that have been there for years or decades, as some of the lifers are, which we're lifers, man. If you really think about it, it's what we do. You can't just walk in there and be like, you're not going to get that respect, man. Do the job, make those connections, learn about that person. You got to learn the likes and dislikes and things like that, because that just leads up to a successful shift, even, or not successful shift. Because if you have a bunch of people on the line that just click and just get along, and you can screw around with each other all day during prep, and you're just banging shit out. And then when it comes down to time to do work, everybody knows their thing, and it's just a well-oiled machine.
Right.
There's sometimes I've walked off of the line at night, and I've been like, oh, just do that,
Yeah.
Facts. It's like, holy shit, I don't know how it got done, how we did that many covers, how we survived, but we did it. And now let's have beers, and I'll see you guys at 9 o'clock. Let's do it again. But that whole thing, I thought that was very realistic about it was, just that whole animosity that happens whenever you're new and you walk into a kitchen, man. You're not, it's junkyard dog. It's just like, we're the OGs. This is our house. Let's see.
Like the same French chef that I was just talking about. When I first started under him, he would constantly yell at me in French, and so I try to figure out.
I barely speak English.
Exactly. So I figured out a way how to counteract that. So I would respond to him in Russian. And I would yell back in Russian, and at one point he just stopped it. He's like, "I don't understand what you're saying." I'm like, "Now you know what I feel. Can we both
be 6 months?
I'm like, "Can we both speak the same language and get along here?" And we shook each other's hands, and we worked great afterwards.
But and that's the truth, though. It's a fact, man. That's what it takes sometimes in a kitchen, where you just you got to butt heads with somebody, and then after that, it's like, I really, you're a dick.
Yeah.
And let's just do this. Let's make it happen. So kitchens are different places, but back to Matty Matheson, man. He shouted out the first thing he said, and it's got to be the only time it was ever said on the Emmys was, "Yo, shout out to restaurants, shout out to the hospitality industry, shout out to the cooks." Something along that line.
What's good? Yeah, I just want to thank restaurants as a whole, hospitality. I just love restaurants so much. The good, the bad. It's rough. We're all broken inside, and every single day we got to show up and cook and make people feel good by eating something and sitting at a table, and it's really beautiful. And all of us here get to make a show together, and we get to make people feel good or filled with anxiety or triggered, seems. But let's go! Thank you. Restaurants forever!
We talk about this all the time, it's just admittable. A lot of us in the restaurant industry, especially, lifers, I was going to say lifers, those are the guys that just started at the bottom and worked their way up, and that's what we do. I'm a lifer. I'm going to be in the restaurant industry until, I have no retirement plan. I'm just going to work until I can't. I'm going to be like the fat chef from New Orleans that used to do the cooking show. What was his name? Oh, it's going to get shit for this, too.
Emma Lagasse?
No. Bam! We so get in trouble. No, Paul Padone, or you said the
Oh, I know who you're talking
it's all about. You used to sit down and have, that's going to be me. You're going to have to prop me up. I'm going to be like Weekend at Chefs. And this is it. I'm still on the line.
I like where that's going.
That could be a good movie.
It could be.
Could be. A lot of sequels I see from that. So here's a good thing. So definitely, but back to that real quick, just finish up. Shout out to Matty Matheson. Thank you for shouting out all the restaurants and the cooks and what we do. And he said the one thing that he did say, which I got off track, and I'll do that, is most of us are broken inside. And we show up every day and we do the same job, and the reward basically out of it for us is you sitting down having a good meal, and you get to have a smile on your face, and it's a big thing with us, especially in the restaurant business, and guys that are line cooks and just do this and just bust their ass for a living every day. It's a tough business to be in. You got to please how many different people, You think about in regular life, you just try to please the people that are around you. Every day you have to perform. Every day you're on stage. Every day that chicken dish that this person came in 6 months ago and came back to have, whether it's me, whether it's you, whether it's Joaquin, Miguel, or fucking Hans on the line, that chicken dish has to taste the same, because if it doesn't taste the same as they had it 6 months ago, you're never going to hear the end of it. Because in this business, we only hear about the bad shit. You never really hear about the good things, you know? And there's very few of us that make it, you know? And that's a big thing. I think COVID, and here we go again, this is why it's unscripted, because I just fucking know. I think COVID made everybody a foodie, you know?
Because
And everybody's judgmental and this and that. Now you see all these things happening, you know, but you have to realize what goes on behind the scenes, those guys that put in that work, you know, and things like that. So there's a lot more going into it than just judging the food, you know, because we do this every day from the bottom of our heart. We still do it, you know.
Well, see, here's the thing. I feel like with the show The Bear, I think people understand now what goes on in the background, in the back, where people are cooking and they're cutting themselves and having nervous breakdowns.
Well, it is, but it's still a movie.
Right.
You know, it's still the movies. I mean,
But you gotta
walking
put it
around this are meant to friggin' screaming, because I can't tell you how many times I just walk back there. Also, bibs, bagging boxes, the soda syrups. If you've never punched anything before in your life, there's nothing like punching open a friggin' Coca-Cola bag box just to get that out. You know, it's
I'm gonna try
it's
that.
a little thing. It's a restaurant thing. You know, if you're listening and you're in the business, you know what it's like to punch a bag box. But yeah, man, I think that was great of them. You know, and it really touched on some things. You know, of course, it's movies, things are exaggerated, but you know, there's a lot to relate to in that show.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, I don't know what else have we got. So, oh, here's a good one, man. What do we, you know, what we cook versus what we eat?
You eat like a 4-year-old.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I know. You're like the second person that said that. Noreen's gonna laugh at this. I'll destroy bowls of Cheerios nonstop. You know, I did Christmas dinner. I did a catering for Christmas dinner for my residents, and it was, you know, lobster tail and antipasto. You know, you saw the pictures and everything, and then I went home 9 o'clock. I'm sending everybody a picture on the chat that I'm eating a knish. What's wrong with you?
Well, is it because you've been cooking all day or your whole shift and you just want to go home and just eat whatever?
No, I think it's just well, yeah, maybe, but it's also just simple, just things that are relatable. You know, it's quick to have, it's comforting in a way. You know, I get just it's a different thing from cooking all day for people. You know, we pick. You know, that's why I put up a post today and said, you know, we eat out of the fry bowls.
Yeah.
You know, and that's really what it is. You know, I think line cooks eat the most French fries out of anybody.
Huh.
You know, 100%. Anything that's in the window, God forbid it falls off the plate, I'm taking that shit right off the pan.
So as a master fryer, you would have,
No, I actually
fries?
got from working a fryer for too long. I got to hate French fries or anything deep fried for years. After I stopped working, I couldn't eat fries, onion rings, or anything like that because just nightmares of like bad job. And it took me a while to get back into eating actually fried food. That job traumatized me.
And there's nothing worse than trying to get the smell of the fryer.
That's all I kept smelling was old fry oil. I was like, no, like.
Wait, and then you take a chef coat and you just take it off of the car and you leave it in the back and you forget that it's there. And then for like the next month, it just smells like fryer. There's nothing, you know, it's like when you drive by Burger King. Here's the best. Here's an example. You'll get this. If you're driving by Burger King and you got your windows down and the grill is going and the smoke's, you know, that smell you get? That's what my clothes constantly smell like.
Nice.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that. I don't think it smells that bad.
It's hard to get out, man. You can't. And then everything, all your clothes are always greasy. There was a point where I had to wash my clothes, my work clothes, separate from the rest of the laundry.
Wow.
Yeah. But you know. So it's the restaurant business, you know, and we do it because we love it, not because very few of us make it.
Me too. I love going to restaurants.
We like eat. Get something in your beard.
That's
Kitchen pranks. You a fan of kitchen pranks? Like, you know, I think. Well, speaking of pranks, but here's the thing.
I
I think
figured out kitchen pranks, like, because they're the common ones. You have somebody drain the coffee pod that's
That's where you
connected.
have the servers do that?
Yeah, that's connected to a hard line, so
So it's more like hazing.
so, yeah.
Well, sometimes it depends on who you get, but yeah, that's a great thing in the servers, and you know we do that all the time.
Well, the other
train
thing
the water
was to bring in a bucket of steam,
bucket of steam.
but I figured out a way to actually go around it. I put a piece of dry ice at the bottom of the bucket, put a little bit of water on, brought in, and it looked like a bucket of steam. So
Chicken stretcher. Did you ever send somebody for a chicken stretcher?
No.
Or left-handed soup spoons?
yeah, that or some.
I had somebody bring me a box of gloves. They had that L on it for large. I was like, bro, those are ladies. Can you find me the man? No, serious. I had one guy who was just a prick on the line, and I was Stu or his ex or whatever. He was like the lead line coach, the dick's arrogant. So this one night before service, I'm just going down the line, attached everybody got to him, and over this meat station where the spices are. I hit my finger in the cayenne pepper. That was on the station.
Oh, you told me.
It is. It doesn't go. I tapped him on the back of the head like this, like, but tapped everybody else like, bro, it's having a good shift. 20 minutes later, it's guys. Did you ever take the new guy's tongs when he goes to the bathroom
No.
and leaves them on the cutting board and put them in the salamander? Oh, I did that to somebody. It was terrible.
Why?
You put them in the salamander, so the salamander is like basically a broiler.
Okay.
So you never leave your tongs on the cutting board. We always hang them on the stove, on the rail of the stove or whatever, or in your back pocket, my back right pocket. Any pair of chef pants I had when I was working a lot, my back right pocket was always destroyed. There was like 5 family meals in there, 2 desserts, because I use my tongs. You use your tongs for everything. You know? Serious. So it was always in my pocket. I go one night and I think about it was like, what is going on in your pants? Like, what? Now I'm sitting there looking like a dog trying to chase his tail in the fucking mirror. And yeah, the whole backside was just greased up and rotten. Like, it was like a cannoli and maybe a hush puppy. It was good. I got a snack.
So you brought food home.
I did. Oh,
In the bag.
technically. I mean,
Yeah.
technically I did. But yeah, tongs always in the back right pocket. What I wanted to get to, it's just, it's fun because we get to say these things. Clicking tongs.
Got to make sure they work.
Okay, so listen. I'm not a chef, but this is something I do at home. If it doesn't do the click clack, then I'm not
You
using
got it. Yeah, but you have to do it twice.
Yes, of course.
It's
That's
fine.
what I think. Click clack, you know.
You have to go twice, right? I don't know why. We just always do it. And what about spinning a saute pan?
Oh,
If you have saute pans on the burner, we always have, the back burners are always stacked like 4 or 5 pans if you work with saute, especially in a busy place because you got to get multiple things going. So the bottom pan heats up. By the top, you're just pulling and rotating. But yeah, just grabbing for some reason, you just got to grab a saute pan. It's just
a little spinneroonie.
yeah, then it goes down. If the burner, you got lucky if the burner didn't light. Right, if the burner wasn't lit, you got to hit the saute pan the right way. It would make the sparks so that the gas would. It was the simple things. Well, those are the greatest things. But it's just funny because that's what I would be thinking of. And I'm sure there's 1,000 other saute chefs out there that would be thinking of the same thing because we all friggin' did it. When that burner didn't lit, you hit the pan the right way, it sparked. It was like,
So if somebody who has no idea is just watching you as you're cooking and you do that, they're gonna be like, "Oh wow, this guy's really a professional because he just lit the stove without even."
no, but a great,
Like a phone
yeah.
zone.
Yeah. As stupid as it sounds, but yeah, I'm sure it looks great from the other side. But to me, it was just like, I still get to do that. And then there was one point where I learned I was able to saute with 2 pans in one hand, so that was the show off. Yeah, but then the arthritis kicked in. And
I think you're a little too young for arthritis.
I got arthritis.
All right.
So so we got that out of the way. Kitchen pranks.
I got a question.
What do you got?
This one's a doozy. So you sit there and you watch all these videos, whether it's on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook Reels, YouTube Shorts, and whatnot. And all these chefs are cooking with no gloves on, or people are complaining, Hey, you're not wearing any gloves.
Crazy, right?
You're not wearing any
So
gloves.
now you have to, every time you change your gloves, you're supposed to wash your hands and then. Do you know what it's like to
That's the whole idea. That was the
So
point.
let's do this. So you're sweating your balls off on a line. So now we're wearing gloves. You can't have powder gloves because you put powder gloves,
Yeah, exactly.
and then you're baking a cake in your fucking hands while you're cooking,
Okay.
right? So now you have no powder gloves or whatever. So you have to change gloves. Technically, you're supposed to. It's how ridiculous this is. You're supposed to change gloves every time you touch something or do something. So as simple as if I'm grabbing a frying pan and they go to my mise en place, even though it's dry goods, now I have to change my gloves. After you change your gloves, you're supposed to wash your hands. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. As we do, 20 seconds. And then you have to put on a new pair of gloves. Do you know how hard it is to put on a pair of gloves when your hands are sweaty?
Yeah.
Bro, you're like, it rips. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. So you see, a lot of us used to like double and triple
Yeah,
on gloves.
same
When
thing,
you had to do
yeah.
that. But then you sit there and your hands like the friggin' kid from A Christmas Story where, what was his name, Randy, where he fell? That's what your hands look like. Like, and you can't move, you can't grab things. There's so many ridiculous things. But yeah, that's definitely something. So gloves, I don't know. I wear them now. Of course, you have to. Back in the day, I don't.
Well, see, that's the whole idea, right? Back in the day, I don't think anybody got sick per se. Because
Well, the whole
back
idea
in
is
the
if
day,
you
nobody had a
constantly
clue now.
wash your hands and don't cross-contaminate, you don't. What's the point of wearing gloves? It's faster and easier to wash your hands in between touching different meat or whatever it is than to take your glove off, wash your hand, dry it, put a new one on, and all.
So all you're doing is just adding another step for no reason.
You're adding other stuff, and
you're pissing off the line cook that's got to
and
try to put on a
especially
fucking
if your
glove on the wet
meal
hand.
is timed and you were supposed to cook in like a minute and a half. Now you're adding another 25 seconds
Exactly.
worth of
Even worse. Yeah, but still, you're right. Because everything again, and that's great, bro. Because everything in the kitchen is timed. So when your apps come out, if the tickets call for a fire, or if your expo and everybody is just timing everything out, man, it's all an orchestra.
Yeah.
It really is, bro. There's a conductor, there's your lead, and when it comes down to it, that's why we call it a brigade. Everybody just falls in line. I'm sure it's called a brigade because of all the fancy French stuff. But still, that's why it is. And that's just what it is. It's the brigade, man. It's a line. It's your guys. And you know who your right hand is. You know who your left hand is. You know who you can push a little more. You know you can't. But everything has to fall in line for you to get that meal in this amount of time.
But see, I assumed, right, that because, regardless of whether you're touching everything, right, you're still cooking it, right? Nothing's coming out really raw.
Well,
So you're still cooking it. So even, let's just say you cross-contaminated for even a split second, the food is still going to get cooked.
listen, if you're in service, right, and personally, just from my experience, again, everything I say and we say is just from personal experience. If you're going from raw product that's not like a steak or anything, that's not like a chicken cutlet, 90% of the time now, everything is part of. We do sous vide now, which is a great thing, and we have
So much
equipment
easier.
to hold everything, and it's phenomenal. Because if you want to take let's say a ossobuco or a lamb shank or something like that, right? So now technically, if I'm supposed to hold it, if I'm supposed to cook it, cool it in within 4 hours to a certain temperature, right? And then now I have to either store it or I'm gonna reheat it and have to reheat it from a cold state. But now we have there's things in place where we're able to hold it at a certain temperature, so that this way we're able to put out ossobucos in 10-minute times and things like that. Sous vide's a great thing right now.
Yeah.
Everybody's doing it. It's it's the new Kardashians. Everybody wants
Nice.
a piece of it.
Okay.
But yeah, no, there's definitely tricks and things, shortcuts we take and so forth like that. And then every station, everybody that works that station, you develop your own tricks. So what works for you on Garmager is not going to work for me, but we kind of take what we both have because you might be the AM guy and I might be the PM guy. So if I don't prep up my station at the end of the night, no matter how busy I am, if you don't have your me's in the morning, then I'm just I'm a dick. But but we still do it at times.
Yeah.
But it's still the fact that it's just you kind of just look out for each
Right.
other and things like that. Because 9 out of 10 times on a shift or on a day, average 14-hour day maybe that's what it is. Sometimes you're not working a 7. Listen, unless you're union, you're not working that. It's a different type of person that goes
Right.
into the line cook and restaurant positions. But yeah, it's usually just you and another guy, and that's it. You got to constantly back up each other and so forth because one little screw up that you do for him, whether it's spiteful or you forget to do it, is going to lead to something else, and then it just becomes a bigger and bigger thing. And then you come into the morning shift and you pissed off the guy at your night shift enough that you have no knees in the morning, and now you're behind. And everything's in the weeds. Once the one person falls in the weeds, the rest of it creates bigger ticket times. That's why we have things prepped out, and there's shortcuts now. I don't know, it's not shortcuts, but you just prep. It's mise en place.
But shortcuts and the way kitchen design, you keep referring to the French Brigade. You do know the French stole the whole concept of French Brigade, right?
Mm-hmm.
They stole from Roman generals and the way Roman army used to be ran, and how all the positions had their own leads and their own things that they ended up stealing that concept and turning it into a kitchen concept.
I don't know, but you know what I do know? You know what I do know is we're on the interweb, and once somebody sees that, in fact, they check the shit out of it. Hey, listen, I got 100. I got you, bro. 100%. Whatever it is with us. I got to do one thing that annoys the shit out of me. And that's table side. That's this table side service that comes up, and listen, I have an overactive brain, and I lay down at night, and there's only one thing that would pop in my head, and that was the 3 Mongolian kids on TikTok singing whatever they're singing. You know exactly what I'm talking about. The other thing that bothers me. Hold on a second. I gotta get all my stuff ready. Give me a second. Wait a second. This is good. You're free.
I'll do this.
I got.
It's a show today.
I got props.
Oh.
Is this. And I think everybody's seen it on TikTok. I sent it to you guys. I'm using Rice Krispies right now. I do not have Turkish ice cream. But this is my version of a baklava, right? And this is what we're doing just to make an example. This is what annoys the shit out of me. Unnecessary tableside stuff. So you're at a restaurant and I'm doing it. Wow. Wow.
But this they're going for a
If
shield.
I have to have somebody come over, it's like a gnat at a picnic. And now I'm going to pay $75 for a piece of a piece of puff pastry with ice cream in it that I had some little, I'm not going to be politically correct, a little person come over with amazing hair, he's got amazing hair, and do this whole knife and fork dance and look at me and say, super wow. Bro, bothers me. What bothers me? Like, what is the purpose of this? And like my wife said, she's like, I've never even seen it, so I don't know what annoys you so much. I'm like, you've never seen it? He's got 436 followers. I'm like, how do you not see this? So, ladies and gentlemen, it bothers me. The table side service, all this knife and dancing and this shit and that stuff, no, you don't need it. Don't pay extra for it.
So you don't like going to the Japanese hibachi. Got it. Nice.
Nothing against the hibachi. All right, guys. Thank you for letting me put on my little act over here.
Are we gonna have these makeshift baklavas now?
No, I don't think so. But the next time I'm gonna need a sandwich. I'm freaking starving.
Oh, well then. Okay.
Guys, I'm Chef. That's Oleg. That's Mike Spade. Thank you for tuning in to Mise en Place.
Don't forget, next week he's going to be in.
Oh, that's right. Sorry. Next week we're going to be in Boca Raton. We're doing the St. Mark's Greek Festival. It's one of the best festivals on the East Coast, so come down and check it out. We'll be doing a live feed from there, so that'll be next week, Thursday, it starts. So you guys will see me.
Sweet. Other than that, that's it, right, guys?
Yeah.
So long, everyone.